Wonderhussy here, just hanging out in the beautiful Mojave Desert, enjoying a gorgeous spring day in this super vast, desolate part of the desert that I've never explored before, but it's full of interesting old cabins. Now this is actually the fourth or fifth cabin we've gone to over the past couple of days. I've been out here exploring with my friend. We stayed in one of the cabins last night, but this cabin here, like I said, it's the fourth or fifth one we've been to, and it has a really funny name, but I don't want to say the name of it because you know how people are with these things. They get mad and they think that if you say where something is or what something is, that people will come trash it. Well, unfortunately, this place already is trashed. The friend that I'm with said he was here a few years ago and it was in much better condition. So I'm not sure what happened, but this cabin needs some TLC. You'll see what I'm talking about. Now this is actually the side door here. So let's go down the front. This little pathway here, because it has a pretty nice front entrance that you should see. Okay, here's the front steps. Look at this cool, kind of like flagstone. Sorry about the wind noise, it's real windy today. Oh, that's a really neat old oil can, isn't it? Anyways, so yeah, look, it has a really neat like flagstone patio, and then it has concrete steps that go up to the front door. You can see though, it's probably seen better days. Oh, look at this, it's like a little side door here, goes out to this. Maybe this was a room at one time. It looks like there's maybe a tar paper roof that collapsed and this was a room or a root cellar or something. Interesting. Anyways, let's go in. Okay, wow. This place is a trip. I'm just going to stand in the middle of this room and do a 360 so you can see what we're dealing with here. Okay, so that's that side door. The first one that we didn't go in. And then that's the door we just came in. Sorry about the light. It's kind of challenging. Okay, so it's basically like one big room that we're in here with the stove, and then there's a second room off to the side there. So let's start out in this room that we just panoed. Okay, so coming in from the door, there's this really cool table and a set of chairs. The fourth chair is just laying out in the desert. Oh, actually, wait, there's 5 chairs because one of these chairs is laying out in the desert. Actually, a pretty nice set of chairs. They're super solid. I mean, the upholstery's dated and in need of some love. Antivirus chic. But yeah, really cool chairs and a really neat table because look, it's made out of an old refrigerator door. How cool is that? Cold spot. So I guess my friend was saying when he came here before, that table was all set up and nice, and I don't know what happened, but it's a mess now. Okay, so look, here's a kind of a funky little collector's toy car, and it's got some items in it, some playing cards, kind of like a little trail register that has the name of the place on it. I really want to say it because it's so funny, but I won't. Look, America, land of the free cabins. Just one of those trail books where people sign it from 2010, I guess. And then there's another, look, Air Suites Mission Viejo. And then people have left their business cards, playing cards, pack of cider, some jelly, sugar, a few little odds and ends that you might need. Moto Mike. Look at this guy. He'll give you a tattoo for $25 in Pahrump. Oh, bullet. Never know when that'll come in handy. Alright, so that's what's in this little canister. That's kind of cool. Look at that. What does it say? Oh, logbook. Oh, cool. Look at the guy driving it. Meep, meep. Anyways, over the table there's some really neat artwork that's made out of there's a mine, or the wreckage of an old mill or mine or something nearby here. I guess they used pieces from that. It looks like at one time this was a bookshelf. Now it's just all a mess, man. Dartboard. There was even a full-length mirror. I mean, this place really probably was real nice back in the day. Okay, now I'm going to continue along here. It's really hard because the sun's coming in this doorway, but there's this really cool bulletin board that I'm not going to zoom in on too close because it says the name of the place, but also just some graffiti and autographs and stuff from the people that were here. Look at this guy. He rode his fat bike. This is a rough road to get out here. This cabin is remote, so good for you, Foresty Forest. You're hardcore. All the way from San Diego to Salt Lake City. That sounds like a fun trip, actually. And then look at this guy. Rude Doggy on YouTube. I gotta get a new card. I mean, I found a card with a YouTube logo on it when I hiked Tikaboo Peak, and that made me really realize I gotta up my game card-wise. Because look at this guy. Rude Doggy. That's not even how you spell doggy. What is that? Hopefully his channel's cool. Check it out. Anyways, really a cool little message board. And then sadly, the part of the reason why the cabin is so trashed is the door either blew down. My friend thinks somebody knocked it down purposely, tore it down. I don't know. But it's so friggin' windy out here. I don't know if you can see that little American flag flapping up by the corner of the door. I wouldn't be surprised if it just blew right in. And now that it's down, boy, this whole place is going to get trashed. Anyways, let's just continue along to this side of the door. By the way, look at this wood paneling is in pretty good shape. I mean, the walls here are solid. This cabin actually has good bones, and I feel like it has pretty good potential. It could be fixed up. Oh, this is probably the table that went with those chairs. Oh, here's another one of those chairs. So it was like a set of 6. And that makes sense. It would have gone with that big table because it was like a formal dining set. Meanwhile, I know I'm ignoring the elephant in the room, which is that creepy horse. But before we get to that, really cool old metal folding chairs. I love those. And look at this painting. This used to be hanging on the wall. Old miner. Look at this. I spent most of my money on beer and women. The rest I just wasted. Hey, old timer, you can buy me a beer anytime. Okay, and then this horse, I am really not sure why somebody would take a really cool plastic horse like this and shoot it up. But that's what they did. It's a bummer, man. We used to have one of these when I was a kid. It's one of those horses that it's on springs. You jump right on it like you pretend like you're riding a horse. It's really a shame. Like, this is something I'd really like to take with me, honestly, but I feel like it'd be looting, which is silly because it's obviously just junk. But this poor horse, I feel like I could cut its head off and put it on my bike. It would look really neat. Take it to Burning Man. But I'll leave it here because I try to be ethical. Hey, look, speaking of how good condition this cabin was in, it was even wired for electric at one time. I can't believe that. We're so far out here, there can't be any power lines. I might have to hook up a battery or something. Okay, and then we have this really cool 55-gallon wood-burning stove. Let's see how old the paper is. See when the last people were here. This was the Spectrum and Daily News. I don't even know what that is. Where's the Spectrum from? Utah? We're nowhere near Utah. Thursday, April of 2013. Wow. Oh, interesting. Oh, now I'm curious where this newspaper is from. Anybody know? Oh, it looks like it's from Utah because look at this, Salt Lake City. Huh. Well, some people from Utah were in here, I guess. And then look, I noticed down here too. What's this? Magazine. Let's see what that is. Give us another clue about who was hanging out here. Forbes ASAP. The internet revolution has legs, but now heads must roll. Oh, when's this from? Dates of these things. I just want to know when the magazine was from. Oh, look. February 1, 2000. Holy cannoli. They even had the internet in 2000? I mean, look at that. Moore versus Metcalf, Glider versus Cisco, Jay Walker versus Amazon. Amazon was even around in 2000? Oh, wow. This is probably super interesting to read through. Forbes from the year 2000. Wow, that is a trip. And what date did it say it was? February 2000. That's even before This is barely after Y2K. This is before September 11th. Wow, times were so much simpler back then. Look at this ad for this old-timey smartphone that you can get emails on. It was a big deal in 2000. Play hooky without getting caught. Oh, I see. So you can go hit a few holes on the golf course and still get your email from Jenkins. And the more things change, the more they stay the same. CEO's been taking advantage of the working man ever since this magazine came out. Ugh. Look, the web's bodyguard, filtering the internet for kids. Well, look how well that turned out 18 years later. All right, well, we'll leave that there in case somebody else wants to read. Man, I'd love to stay in this cabin tonight, build a big fire in the stove, and just sit here and read this old Forbes. That'd be fun. Okay, so there's just some more garbage and stuff back here. Probably just blew in because the door's not even up. Okay, and then continuing along to this corner, we had a really comfy recliner. It's dusty, but the upholstery is still pretty much sound for the most part. Couple little rips, but that could be totally cleaned up. This looks like it's just a paper target. Let's see. Yep. Shooters were here. Surprise. Oh, look back here, though. Oh, man, we gotta get this. Saw that, and I knew I had to. Fernail Keep Field Fort. What in the hay is Beamstrin? I mean, maybe this is just from some Dungeons and Dragons type game, it seems like. Or it's a book. Oh, it's from one of them, what do you call it, fantasy books. Huh, okay, never mind. I thought it was like a treasure map. I got all excited, like, oh, they were looking for treasure. Maybe we can find it. Okay, so there's really nothing else back down there. Okay, and then there's the tuffet, the footstool that goes with that recliner. Oh, it's on wheels. And the wheels still roll pretty good. I mean, by the way, look, this place was even carpeted. It's really a shame that it's in such bad condition because, again, I'll say, look at the walls. Are pretty solid. This place just needs a little TLC, and it could actually be very cozy. I mean, here's the kitchen. Look. Shelving is pretty legit. Not much left on the shelves, but, you know, there's some tuna. You could survive. You could get by for a bit. Sardines, salt, some beans, soup. You could probably live for about a month off of what's here. If you didn't get too active. And then look, there's an old kettle. And fuel, just bottles and cans and stuff. Junk, targets. I guess that's an old stove, a really old camp stove. Look at that. It says on the thing. It's for camping, trailers, boats, cooking. Wow. Cool old stove. Let's see what's here. Oh, wow, look. Old cookware. Oh, no, it's just a paint can. Never mind. Well, see, all you gotta do is paint the walls, and this place would be good as new. Well, maybe clean out the sink, too. Let's look under the sink. Oh, nothing down here. It's just empty. But it's not, you know, again, it's solid. It's not busted up. There's no holes in the walls. This place has a lot of potential. And then there's even, like, the potential for drawers here for storage. Right? Isn't that what these are? Drawers? Yuck. But, you know, potential, I said. This one. Ew, gross. Wonder where. Oh, wow, look at this old shopping bag, you guys. It's disgusting, so I'm not going to pull it out, but look. Alpha Beta. Remember, those stores are not even around anymore. I remember that from way back when I was a kid. Alpha Beta. Funny. Okay, cool. So that was pretty much this one cabin, this one room in the cabin. We've explored. Oh, I didn't look at these books. My bad. Hold on. By the way, if you need some breaks. What's this? The Silver Crown. Book 3 of Guardians of the Flame. Oh, that must be what that map was from. Looks like some fantasy stuff. For Love of Mother Not. Man, I am not a fan of fantasy, but the covers are kind of cool. This guy. Riders of the Dawn. What is that, like a Western or something? And then, oh, good old Louis L'Amour. Actually, I don't know if it's Louis L'Amour or Louis L'Amour. Anyways, you find those books in a lot of these cabins. And look, again, wired for electric. Not working now, but look, even a paper towel holder. Look at that. Dang, this cabin really does have potential. Well, I say that now, but wait till you see in this other room. Okay, let's go in the second room. Okay, back here, it's going to be dark, but you should be able to get an idea. This was a bedroom, okay? So there was one bed here with one of those really cool rope. I don't know how you would call this, a rope mattress, kind of. It's more comfortable than laying on the floor. and then a really creepy old metal bed, and another rope bed. So there's 3 beds in here. They're jammed in. It's tight quarters. But if you look down, there was actually a pretty nice hooked rug on the floor. And if you can look past all the rat poo and garbage everywhere, I mean, at one time, if you have an imagination, this was probably pretty cozy. I mean, it's a cement floor with just an area rug, but still, you know, you're sleeping in here. Oh, and look, there's a really cool old chair back here. Ugh, it's so gross in here. I can feel dried rat poo crunching under my feet. Oh, look, that's one of those old director's chairs. And then there's this old wooden chair facing it. And unfortunately, I can't really look at anything on it because it's just so covered in garbage and rat poo. Ugh, I gotta get out of this room. Yuck-y. I mean, there's all kind of interesting bits of newspapers and stuff, but it's so filthy in here, I don't really feel like it's safe. Ugh. Look, there's the other chair from the dining room set, just sitting out here. Just waiting for someone to drag it back into the cabin so it can rejoin its 5 brothers and sisters. And the cabin itself can retain some of its former glory. And then look here on the side of the house, there's this really cool old giant water tank that even has like a little spigot at the bottom so they can collect what little rainwater they get, which isn't generally very much out in this part of the desert, but you know, whatever you could collect. Looks like they had a gutter up on the roof that even funneled all the rainwater down into this at one time. So it was actually a pretty legit setup. And then back here, I guess these are remains from an old sink that was in the house and old mattresses that maybe used to be on those beds. I don't know. Huh. Anyway, it's such a cool little cabin, and I feel like there's definitely a ton of potential there if somebody was just to come along and spend, I don't know, a long weekend. It might take a few long weekends, but like I said, the walls were solid, the flooring, the foundation is solid, ceiling just needed a little bit of patching, the roof, and then just really needs a thorough cleaning. So, who knows? Maybe I'll come out here and rehab this little cabin, and then I can sort of play off of the name of it and call it the Crusty Hussy Ranch. Wouldn't that be cool? Who wouldn't want to come stay at the Crusty Hussy Ranch? Well, maybe I wouldn't call it that. I don't know. It has a really cool name already, and it's a cool little cabin, and I definitely want to come back here and check on it sometime.